Hi friends, it's Cindy Lyon again from Greetings and Memories, here to show you how to do this simple fun fold card today featuring our Forever Fern stamp set. For those of you joining me for World Card Making Day, grab your supply packet, and inside of that you will find your Whisper White medium envelope that we're going to just set aside for now. And then you have your Whisper White thick card base, and you will see that I have scored that already for you for your fun fold. So you're going to just fold that back and press along that crease. If you have a bone folder, go ahead and use it. If you don't, well, then just do it with your thumbnail, but be careful if you have polish on. You might leave marks from your nail polish. So we have that card base, and we'll fold that back for our fun fold. Oh, and I accidentally put two pieces in here, but you only need one piece of the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper. And you've also got a couple of die cut labels. I cut these from our Tasteful Labels dies. One piece in shaded spruce and one in Whisper White. And then we've got a little piece of the linen thread that you'll use to make a bow to embellish your card. So I'll move the stamps out of the way for a second because we're not stamping until later. We're going to start out by putting adhesive on your piece of Designer Series cardstock. Oh, let me get that a nudge and get it going better. There we go. And making sure I've got that right side up so that the foliage is growing up instead of down. And we'll just lay that down on that folded back edge. And then we'll take our shaded spruce die cut, and you're only going to put adhesive on the one side. You're going to adhere it here. And so this side, we don't want any adhesive. So let me flip that over and just put some adhesive on the left-hand side. My stamp and seal is being a little uncooperative there. There we go. And kind of eyeball that and try to get it centered top to bottom and centered side to side. And that looks pretty close. So just stick that down, and like I said, we don't want any adhesive on this side because we want to be able to open that fun fold card. So that part's done. Now we're going to stamp our sentiment on our white label using the shaded spruce ink. And this label is going to work with the To a Friend That Makes Me Smile sentiment from this stamp set. And forgive me if I get my head in your way. I'll lean in a little bit and see if I'm getting that centered. So there's that. And now I'm going to take some of those Stampin' Dimensionals that also came in your supply kit and pop a few of those on the back of my Whisper White label. And place that as centered as I can. Oh, so I can move it a little bit. There we go, that's better. And adhere that on top of my green label. And actually, I'm going to save that bow till the end. We're not going to do that quite yet. Now, go ahead and open up your card so that this part's out of the way. And as you can see on the example, we're going to stamp foliage all along this edge, pointing in towards the center, so that when the card is closed, you see the stamping, and then it's not until you open it, you'll reveal the area where you can write and sign in your card. So there really isn't any right or wrong on stamping the foliage. You just want to kind of mix it up and stamp. Let's see here. We'll start out with this one. And I'll go ahead and do that in the shaded spruce. And I'll do one kind of towards the top here, and then I'll stamp it again down here without re-inking and get a little bit lighter shade of green. And yeah, you'll see that's how we're going to get all those various greens there, only using 2 ink pads, is by stamping more than once before re-inking. So I moved that when I was cleaning it. So now I'm going to use that same stamp, and I'm going to ink it up in my garden green, and I'm going to alternate my light and dark images. And we'll switch out and grab a different one. And we'll do that a couple times in garden green. We do it a couple times in shaded spruce, and I'm going to try to balance the dark green at the top by putting some dark green down here towards the bottom. And you'll see what I'm doing here. Because I didn't do a complete impression on the cardstock, I didn't want to stamp again with that one, because it would have given me uneven inking with the portion that wasn't previously stamped. So even though I want to do a lighter one, I'm going to start over with inking it up and then stamp off on my background paper, and then add that in there. So that gives me a cleaner impression. And then just for fun, we'll put this one in there a couple of times with the more rounded type leaves, and I'll do that with the shaded spruce and put some dark shaded spruce right in the middle here. Oh, and then I'll go and add maybe a little bit here and a little bit here, and just layer those images. And that looks like enough foliage. So now I'm going to fill in with some speckles there, and I'm going to use the garden green for that. So I'll close up the shaded spruce. I want those speckles to be lighter. I don't want them to be too dark. So I'm going to do my garden green, and I'm going to start with the darker impression here. And then as I move out, I'll stamp again without re-inking, so that I get a lighter image. And I'm kind of going down in here and filling in some of this white space while I'm at it. Yeah, you can see some of those areas where there's a lot of white space. I'm going to fill that in. And there. And now close that up and see. All we have left to do now is close up that ink pad. And I'll grab that piece of linen thread and tie a bow. And of course I wasn't going to get it even on the first try. We'll try that again. There, that looks better. And I'm going to take my liquid glue and put just a little dot underneath my greeting there. Now this is a spot where you could certainly use a glue dot if you wanted to do that. I think that's what I did in my examples. I used a glue dot. Use some liquid glue here and put that bow in place. And I'll take just, whoops, take a few minutes there for that to dry, and then this card will be finished. Again, go ahead and feel free to embellish your envelope with some stamping if you'd like. But otherwise, there is your finished card. I am going to adjust that bow a little bit. There we go. That looks more even. And that is our last card for World Card Making Day. I hope you've enjoyed yourself and had a good time with that. If you are seeing this video later on YouTube, I will be adding it to my blog, and you'll be able to find all the measurements and written instructions there at greetingsandmemories.com. And if you're interested in purchasing any Stampin' Up! Products, including our Forever Fern stamp set, or our Forever Greenery Designer Series paper, or any of the other products that we have available, you'll find those at cindylyon.stampinup.net. Thank you for joining me. See you again soon.